Podcasting from anywhere you are right now, you are listening to the #1 podcast for the business. Sauce. This is the Motivated Melanin Show. I got that million dollar melanin. Where we drop episodes to show serious entrepreneurs how to build, expand, and bank in business, as well as grow and expose their excellence in this billion-dollar business thing. Hosted by Angela, your favorite beauty coach, assisting beautypreneurs on how to do business in a personal way. Join her here as she interviews top influencers around the world.
All right, welcome back to the Motivated Melanin podcast, the #1 podcast for entrepreneurship, beauty, and lifestyle with Coach Angela B. and along with my co-host,
Yamika in the house.
Yes. And today we have a very special guest. I'm very honored. And of course, you know, my passion is beauty entrepreneurs. So this is going to give back to them in a major way because I'm all about my beauty people, all about them building wealth and building their brand. And one of the best ways to do that is with the service. I'm going to let my guests explain. But today we have Miss Melody McCloskey, and I could give her an introduction, but I'm gonna let her introduce herself because I just feel like I cannot tell her story, right? I've heard other podcasts say, all these things that people are doing. I'm gonna let her tell her story, and I just want to say that I didn't know that StyleSeat was a woman-owned business. So I just want to give a shout out to you for being very major. Being a woman in business, being a leader in business, and giving back. No one understands beauty like a woman, right? So when I was like, oh my God, when I said, I'm like, I've been sleeping. I'm such a researcher, but I've been sleeping. But that's okay. Melody McCloskey, thank you so much for coming on today. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to be here, and I've been listening to this podcast all day, and I'm so impressed with what you've created and these conversations that are so important. I feel like as women running companies, we can run into so many issues, and there's not a lot of places to talk about it and to share and to feel connection and support each other. And so I love what you're doing, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, you think, and this is just a testament that you think no one is listening, but in actuality they are. And imagine if I would have stopped doing this with all the life things going on, I wouldn't be sitting here with you. Imagine if you would have stopped doing what you're doing, which I'm going to let you talk about that in a minute. What you're doing, you wouldn't be sitting today. So kudos to you. Thank you for recognizing Motivated Melanin. Thank you. So introduce yourself, please.
So I appreciate it. So my name is Melody McCloskey. I'm the CEO and founder of StyleSeat. StyleSeat is the premier place to find and book appointments in the beauty and wellness industry. So if you're a consumer and you're looking to book any type of beauty or wellness appointment, please come to us. And then we're also an incredible platform for beauty professionals to run and grow your business. We will triple your revenue in the first 2 years of being on the platform. Talk about how and why, but we run your entire business and supercharge it with some AI and other interesting things, so that you can focus on your clients and your craft, and we help you be more financially successful doing what you love.
Yeah, absolutely. I am into building beauty entrepreneurs, building wealth for them. So you saying like StyleSeat is going to supercharge their finances is major, right? And I know it's so many people on your platform. I read the sheet, but it's so many people that are not. They don't even know the power of letting a system book their appointments for them. Like, freeing up their time. Like, just name some of the things that just having a account like StyleSeat can do for a beauty professional.
Yeah, I think a lot of beauty professionals that I speak with feel overwhelmed at providing their services to clients, making clients feel good, all the components around being an artist, right? And pouring into that. And then also thinking about all of the things that go into becoming financially successful, marketing and social media and pricing, and just there's so many things, getting business loans to be able to grow your business. And what StyleSeat does is really focus on that second piece. So you as a beauty professional can focus on your first piece. Like let the robots do the price optimization and surge pricing and CRM and marketing fundamentals, and you focus on really what the joy that you're bringing to your clients on a day-to-day basis. So what we do is we give you everything you need to run your business: website, online booking, internal scheduling. We reach out to your clients after your appointment on your behalf to ask them to book again when it's time. We help to get reviews from them that automatically go onto your StyleSeat website so that you can grow your ratings and build your reputation online. We do everything. We give you really amazing reporting so that you can see how your business is performing and the things that you can do to be more successful. We also will give you business loans, so up to $20,000 per business, so that you can invest in yourself, into education, into retail, whatever it is that you need in order to grow your revenue and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And we also proactively grow your revenue for you. So we will surge your prices. I'm happy to talk about how and why, but it's the ability to make more money in the same amount of time worked. And then we also run advertising around your business on your behalf to attract new customers so that you can grow your clientele as well.
Okay. I love that. That sounds super major, right? I think the biggest thing with just the beauty entrepreneurs that I encounter, they're so scared of technology. They're so scared of change. I have to remind them a lot of times, like, you are worth more than just standing behind a chair, not charging enough money, not getting eyes on your business, because they have this, I say, superpower, right? You have this superpower and you're not even telling anyone about it. Because number one, you're scared to get online, to even make a booking site. Like you can pretty much make a booking site in how fast can you make a sales today?
In 3 minutes. It's like setting up a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Basically, we have this little area where you can log into Instagram, and we'll pull all of your photos. If you already have something on Instagram, photos of your work, we'll pull that in for you, and you can say yes, 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 no, no, no to the photos, and post them instantly on your website that is live immediately. We will say, hey, if you're a stylist, we think that these are the types of services that you offer, yes or no, and you can go in and edit it. So we sort of do a lot of the legwork for you to make it easier to go from startup to fully running your business. And then, sometimes stylists will come to me and say, so that's going to be a lot of work and I don't want to manage a whole thing.
Yeah.
But we are going and rebooking your appointments for you, right? Like, how annoying is it when a client reaches out to you and maybe you're with another client and they're like, hey, can I move my appointment? And you're like, oh my gosh, you got to look at your schedule. We do all of that for you. You can respond to them with, yeah, you're welcome to rebook your appointment. Click here to do it, right?
Okay.
And then they will, with us, do all of that day-to-day management. We can take payments for you. You can collect deposits. So you're not having to go back and forth with people and say, here's my Zelle link and can you please, and make sure that it happened, right? Like, it's a little bit of work in the beginning to get up and running.
Yeah. But anything,
it's so much easier on the other side of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have some clients that use StyleSeat and have been using it for a very long time. And they said that it had a new deposit feature that they love.
Yay. Yes, we just launched it.
Okay. And then they also said, let me remember that, you have some type of feature where you choose your top stylist or something of that nature. Can we talk about that? Or your top stylist, or your top stylist of the week, or top service, something of that nature. So tell me the top 3 tools that that are most used or for your stylist, or not even say stylist. I'm gonna say beauty professional, because I kind of coach them across the board. I mean, you name it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that might be what you're referring to that we let our professionals do is to select their specialty and what they want to be known for.
Okay.
Like an example is, I've like maybe like 2 years ago when we launched this feature, I was talking to a stylist who was like, look, I'm known already for my men's cuts. I get a lot of men's cuts. My portfolio is full of photos of men's cuts, but I'd rather do women's cuts because I make more money in the same amount of time. But people don't know that I'm amazing at cutting women's hair. And so what we will do, and it's what she preferred, and it's like where she thought she really shined. And so what we did is we built a feature where you can say, this is my specialty, it's this service. And then we highlight photos of you with that service, because the photos that you upload to your StyleSeat website, you tag and you say, these are the services that are included in this photo, so that when people search for butterfly braids or blonde balayage or some, hand-tied extensions or whatever it is they're looking for, and that's your specialty, you'll show up above a stylist that maybe specializes in something else, but also does that service.
Okay.
And so it allows you to say, I want to do more of these things and be known for it in my city. This is where I really want to shine.
Okay.
Because that's so important. So I'd say that's definitely a feature that people love, that is most used. I'd say smart pricing, surge pricing that I mentioned is a hugely important feature. Deposits, that's the most requested feature we've ever had. So I'm happy to have finally launched it a couple weeks ago, and people are really liking it. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff. It's kind of hard to describe almost, because
that's why I said three. I said top three. My most asked question from my beauty professionals is pricing. So that surge pricing is great. They're so scared to charge what they're worth. So you have this system of saying, hey, I believe that this is worth this based on this, or whatever the algorithm is telling them. I think that's a good way to reassure them that 100%. Times have changed. You need to charge what you're worth. And if they say, I want to lose clientele, like, that's okay, because maybe they weren't your clientele really in the first place. Like, so
100%. And what's so interesting about this industry is, it's filled with creatives, right? You love your clients. You think about them. It's not that they're just like, oh, I'm an accountant and I'm doing this person's taxes and here's your taxes. Like, they're sitting in the chair. You're learning about their family. There's a real relationship and sharing that's there. And so when it's time to raise your prices, it can feel, like you're telling a friend, you know what I mean? That it's more complicated in this industry, but it shouldn't be. And our most read blog posts, our most talked about topics are, number one, how to break up with a client. So this is the thing it's a hot topic, right? And number two, how do I raise my prices because I'm scared to do it?
Yes.
And what's great about StyleSeat is, so typically someone joins us making about $50,000 a year. Our AI starts to learn their business, and we're doing all your CRM for you. So we're reminding clients when it's time to book again. So now they're rebooking more frequently. Like, we make your core business just run more effectively. Then if you're interested in smart pricing, surge pricing, you can turn it on and we'll start to surge your prices like 5%, 7%, 12%, right? And we learn your demand curve. We learn your individual business, the algorithms do. And we look at all the data citywide to see what other people charge that have the same quality and reviews and rebooking rates. And then what happens is you'll price out the bottom 10% of your client base. They'll say, oh, this is too expensive for me, so they'll leave. But then we're running advertising on your behalf to bring you new clients. So we'll bring you an additional 10% of customers that are happy to pay that higher price. And so that will sort of happen for 6 months. And then we'll see professionals raise their prices, their base prices, resets the algorithm. But now you're surging off of that higher base price, which will turn some clients away. You're going to, pricing yourself out of clients is not a bad thing. As your skills get up, then that's part of growth. And as long as you're attracting new clients that are paying those higher prices, from a business perspective, that is how you grow and expand your revenue and get to 6 figures.
Absolutely.
I love that. one thing you're doing, Melody, that just screams like stars to my ears, is hearing that, because it takes away the fear of pricing,
Yeah.
for our
Exactly.
professionals, but it also builds their character and their confidence to price at their value, their value and what they're worth. And the advertising, I mean, it just takes the responsibility of our professionals and the level of trust that, professionals have to have. Instead of it's the mindset where some of our professionals think that they're losing their power. It's the opposite. You're gaining your power. So you're taking the advantage of how you want to receive your value in that sense of your worth, and the type of creativity you're able to bring into your business. But it's the advertising part where they're able to relinquish that responsibility from themselves, but gain so much more and benefit from that.
Yeah.
It's so
awesome.
true. And when I started this company over 10 years ago, more than 80% of beauty professionals were commission stylists, employees. And so you'd graduate, cosmetology school, you'd go get a job at a salon spa somewhere. That location would take 70% of all of your revenue. And you'd show up, provide services, go home. And that location would take care of like pricing and marketing and kind of all that stuff. And what's happened over the last 10 years is we've all gotten smartphones, we're all on Instagram. And now we can have a direct relationship with the customer and build our own brands.
True.
And so we've seen this huge shift where now more than 80% of beauty professionals are independent. I know you guys already know all this stuff, like booth renters. But what's crazy about that is that's a short amount of time, like 5 or 6 years, for the industry to 100% change. And in the way that it is now, not having to pay 70% of your revenue to someone is incredible because the financial opportunity is huge, but your job just tripled in terms of what you have to do. Now you're not showing up, cutting hair and going home. You're now thinking about website online booking and reviews and pricing and marketing and all of it. And it's a lot. So what we aim to do is let technology work for artists and let them focus on what makes them unique and amazing, and let the technology do the pricing, and then blame StyleSeat. Be like, oh, sorry, this is what I'm worth. This is what the algorithm said of all the stylists in my city. This is what I'm worth. It can give you that confidence to know that it's true.
Yes. So I don't really talk about this too much often anymore, because you're like, I don't do hair. I'm not a stylist or anything. I just know business. So I tried to, I came upon this opportunity about hair extensions, which are really big, right? And
got them on now.
yeah, me too. So I tried to hit the ground running, like before Instagram and stuff really got off the ground, like you. I hit the ground running, talking to stylists, and their biggest fear was, I need to serve my clients. I'm scared of technology. I don't have the confidence to even come from behind the chair. It's insane. So I did a lot of mental work. I think I put most of my time into mental work. You're enough. You gotta get on. You have to get online. I pressed them. You have to get online if you want to be a 6-figure business. So I couldn't. It was slow at first, and then I was like, you know what? My daughter liked to do hair. Well, she did my hair today, but
I love it.
I was like, you know what? They don't believe me because I'm not a stylist or a nail tech or things. So that's what I ran into personally. So I was like, you know what? My daughter wants to be a stylist, so I'll just pour everything into her. So I made her get online, and I coached her and I nurtured her, and I'll give you her name when we off here. I ain't gonna say it. But she's and I coached her to build her own platform and to brand her own business and to be online and to make 6 figures online behind the chair, make 6 figures offline without the chair. I've coached her to do all that. So that's where a lot of my people come and say, hey, you coach her, you can coach me. And that's how I kind of start growing too. But they come out of the disbelief that they can't that they can't be more than just behind the chair. And thanks to, like, my number one thing is you got to get a booking site. I don't care. To me, I didn't care who it was. The thing that I love about StyleSeat is it's in every, you can go to put in a service that you want, and it's going to tell you where you are if that someone can do it. Like if I'm in Kentucky, or I'm in Ohio, I'm in Atlanta, I'm in LA, I can find someone to do that specializes in this service. That's what I love the most, because I have coached so many girls that have even relocated. So they may be on one booking site, but if you go to StyleSeat, you can get on StyleSeat and say your service, and everybody in that area is going to see you. So that's my biggest love about StyleSeat, is they can.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, there's definitely a lot of. First of all, I totally agree with you that everyone should have a booking site, and there's a lot of totally great sites out there. There's a bunch of just booking, business management sites. So go pick the one that works for you. The thing that makes us different is smart pricing, which I mentioned before. And also the fact that we run advertising on your behalf. That's the really big one.
Okay.
And when we send you clients, number one, you don't pay. So normally if you want to run your own advertising, which is incredibly complex, I do not recommend doing it, because you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars like this and get nothing. Is you run advertising and then you hope that it converts. And typically businesses run a bunch of advertising to eventually learn what works, and then you can hone into it. But it can be expensive to figure that out. We only charge you when we've already driven you the client. So you don't pay for all the money that was spent. And by the way, we're spending many millions of dollars on advertising. So we're really good at it. We have a dedicated team, that is happening. But you only pay, you get the benefit of that. You only pay when the client comes in, and you also can choose to accept that client or not. So you can be like, oh, I'm not interested in this. Thank you. I don't want to work Friday afternoon. Or you can say, I'm looking for fewer men's haircuts. I'd like to do other types of services, and we'll change the advertising to reflect your preferences.
I love that. I like the, even with the smart pricing, like to get their financials together. So I'm pretty sure when they book and they can see how many people book, right, they can actually see how much revenue they're going to make for the week, correct? Yeah, I think that's another major thing I like about booking sites. And you can see how much you're going to make before you even make it. So, which is important, because a lot of. And
then you get paid same day, or if you want it instantly, like in 2 minutes, your bank account, we can do instant deposit as well. So you have the goal, the way I wanted the platform to be built is just customizable, so that you can run your business how you want to run it. Because in this industry, as you know, like everyone runs their businesses. There's a flavor for every person, right? And no one wants to be put in a box or have to like do it the way the technology wants. You want to do it. You want the tech to work for you. So that's what we paid attention to when we built the platform.
Okay. Let me see my next question. I had another question. I had this down. Like, and I know I kind of asked this before, but just give me your perspective. Like, what can you tell the beauty entrepreneurs, like, about how important tech is in the beauty industry today? Does that make sense?
It's incredibly important because it will work for you. I think if you can leverage data and big data to grow your revenue, you should do that. Like, that's the best thing about smart pricing, is we are using the data that we see in your entire city for services like you, people of the same quality as you. And we can tune your pricing to match where you should be, only increasing it. We're not decreasing it, obviously, but we tune it to where it should be. That's something that you can't do as an individual. You're not going to like go and research and like see all the, how much money is everyone making. So there's certain places where technology is just better. So let it make you more money.
Yes.
And it might be a little bit of like a shift, and you're, adopting to new tools. But like, I can tell you, when I started in this industry, I talked to a ton of salon owners and like really, really famous stylists with like huge celebrity stylists with huge salons. And they would be like, look, this whole like booth rental thing is not going to catch on. It's nonsense because they're making millions of dollars off of other stylists.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, sounds good. Like, I hear you, you know, thank you for your opinion. Like, I don't agree. Or I would talk to a lot of stylists that'd be like, look, I know that you do this online booking thing, but my business runs, I have very specific needs, and there's no way, you know, that your products can meet my needs. I have, you know, power booking, and I'm booking multiple clients, and people come in and they sit over there, but I want to be able to take another client. And I'm like, oh yeah, we do that. We do all of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's definitely a different way of working, but it can make you so much more money. That if that is your goal, and it's not everyone's goal,
True.
If it is your goal though, use technology because it's very powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just have to get them to believe that it's going to work for them. So, but I convert a lot of my clients. They at least they're on a booking platform, and at least like they can move a little slow because they're set in their own way, right?
Yeah.
So they move a little slow sometimes, but for the most part, like I convert them over to get online or even for a booking site, for a social media site, and I pull them back and forth between Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
Like you have to show up. So somewhere like in StyleSeat, I mean, it sounds amazing.
Well, what's nice too is we give you a booking button that lives in Instagram. So if people find you on Instagram from your efforts there, like where you post, then they can book with you in the Instagram platform and never leave Instagram. The other thing that's great is like clients have to enter their credit card before they book an appointment with you. And if you require a deposit, you can make them do that. That's great for security around your time when those are new clients and, you know, no shows happen. So let's protect yourself. You can say, hey, this is my no show policy. I charge 50% or I charge 100% of what the service would have been because I saved my time for you and you just happen to show up.
Yeah.
We help you get those payments from those consumers that give the credit card at the time of booking, and we check it to make sure that card is good. So things like that you know, that's where technology really shines and just helps to make life easier.
Yeah, and it sets boundaries.
Yes.
Because it makes the consumer respect your time, like you said, and respect that you're a business. I'm not just your stylist. I'm still a business. I still have my family to feed. So I can't afford for you to not show up when you said you were going to show up. I could have been doing 100 other things, right? So that's where a booking site comes very important into play.
I completely agree with that. And it's important for clients to know. It's funny, my husband's barber here in Atlanta, Eric, he said something really funny to me where he was like, when he came to Atlanta, which was 2020, he was making, I don't want to share his numbers, I guess. He told me this story. He has more than tripled his revenue on StyleSeat in a year and a half. That's what I'll say. But he came and he was like, StyleSeat gave me the confidence to exactly what you're saying. Like set boundaries, set rules for customers. Cause when I'm there, I put my whole heart and soul. I'm not distracted. I'm not on my phone. Like I'm giving that time to you and I want that back. Just the respect. But one of the things he said is clients would come up to him and say, hey, you know, but I've been coming to you for 3 years. I want to pay that price. And he was raising his prices over time. And he replied with, well, when you go to Neiman Marcus and you've been shopping there for 3 years, do you pay the 3 years ago prices?
Absolutely.
And they're like, no. And he's like, that's right. Because Neiman Marcus is a business and so am I.
Absolutely.
And with much love and respect, like this is what I'm worth. And I think there's so much power in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm worth. And this is my business. This is my passion. And I'm serious about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that for him. Tell him, great job.
Yeah, I know. Awesome.
If I get my people, I talk to my people all the time. Like, I don't care. Like, you're a business. You are a business. Yeah, absolutely. I can be a little abrasive sometimes. Well, but I want them to be successful. And
well, that's okay. And you know what? You know what that does? When you're not trying to be nice and appealing and appease everybody, you will turn away people that want to take advantage or get around the rule. You're going to turn them away, and you're going to attract people that are happy to be on time and happy to pay the higher prices and happy to give you that respect.
Absolutely.
And there's such a freedom to being like, this is who I am. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It doesn't work for you, I understand. And with much respect, like, you're welcome to book with who you want, because you're going to, over time, just be around clients that are like down for who you are.
Absolutely. Yamika, you had a question.
I do have a question, but I'm not a tech person, and I'm in the health and wellness industry. So just working side by side, with Coach Ange, definitely, pushes the button, just a little bit to, go on board with this technology stuff. But just listening even to, what you offer through the booking site it's like, when I'm looking for something and I want to really fine tune what it is that I want, I may not be able to have the exact words, or may not have a good way to explain what it is that I'm looking for, but I so need this. So when I'm listening, it's like having this booking site is like having a great concierge who can actually accommodate the things that I need, but also express the words that's in my head, and I can't kind of filter them out. But this service definitely pinpoints what I need, and it's actually satisfying me to where I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to actually put this right next to me, and it's accessible. It's not that hard. And it's easy, something easy. But once we actually open up to it, to the idea, of what it can do, just let it do it.
Well, and to your point, running your business offline, let's say not using technology, is really complicated and hard, because you're taking phone calls, you're taking texts, you're probably taking DMs, your schedule's over here, right? It's not like, oh, not using technology. First of all, everyone is in some way, and it can be messy. And I think this, while it might be a different way to run your business, clients are messaging you through StyleSeat. So everything's in one central place. You don't have to give everyone your cell phone number, which is nice, right? You can keep that private. So they're messaging you through our messaging. They can rebook themselves. So if someone's like, hey, I need to change you're like, great, just send them the link. They can go in and move their own appointment. They can do it. StyleSeat has an app for clients to find people, but also to manage their existing appointments with you. So they can just go move it really easy, like don't even have to bother you. So it's definitely different and can be maybe harder for some things, but I think it's significantly easier for, most things.
Yeah, it definitely speaks to both the professional and the client. It diversifies your platform. And with diversifying your platform, how do you appreciate StyleSeat even more? What is, like, I know you have moments where you're like, this was just it. This was it. What is one of your, and I'm pretty sure you have even many defining moments, but what's your most defining moment where StyleSeat, yes, this was it?
Oh my gosh. I mean, we've had so many ups and downs as a business. It is very challenging to run a tech company. It's very challenging to run a tech company as a woman, because less than 2% of investment goes to women. Absolutely. 98% of it goes to men, 98.3 to be exact. And I'm not even a woman of color, right? The percent of women of color that get tech investment is like a fraction of a percent. So my 1.7% is privilege. But it's hard compared to, most of the funds and the resources go towards men. So we've definitely had to fight and grind and stay in the game and, really search for our success. And we've had to, what that's meant is we've had to be really in tune with our community and build the features that they want, both on the consumer side and on the professional side. And it's definitely been a lot of ups and downs, but I have to say we have put more than $500 million into the pockets of our professionals in the last like 4 years that they wouldn't have earned otherwise, just through surge pricing and new client delivery. 86% of our business owners are women, 66% are Black and people of color. So while it is challenging, the thing that gives me the most joy and fulfillment is that I feel like we're really making a difference in communities and having an impact in the financial success of business owners. And that's really what drives me.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I like that. I love that. That moves me. I do a lot of beauty entrepreneurs again, and a lot of them, they don't count their money. They can make money so fast, they fail to count it. So again, what I love about the booking platforms is it tells them how much they're making and how much they're losing if a client doesn't show up. So it's making them financially healthy. If
100%. And here's the other thing is, like, it's nice when, cash flow business, like there's benefits to that. The challenge though of not keeping it tight is when it comes to getting a car loan or a home loan, that can be an impediment to being able to get credit and to be able to be qualified for those things. This is a huge topic that we talk about a ton. And so one of the benefits of StyleSeat is that even if you're accepting cash, totally fine, but we record that for you so that you have a central place to say to, let's say you want to get a auto loan or whatever, you can say, here's my earnings.
Absolutely.
This is in my business management platform. Like, here it is for the last 12 months. And you can have taken money across all these different channels, but there's a central place because not everyone has an accountant that can do that for you and build those reports.
Absolutely.
So it's another just benefit to tech.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we talked about a lot of things today. I want you to speak on something that's near and dear to your heart that you want to share with the community of women entrepreneurs, beauty entrepreneurs, whatever you want to share. What's near and dear to you that you want to share?
What is really important for me is talking about how hard it is, and that challenge is true for everyone. I think there's a lot of people that talk publicly about success and look, I've done it, or look what I'm doing. And there's not enough conversation among women entrepreneurs and business owners about how challenging it is, and that we all face those challenges. And they can be emotional challenges. They can be balancing being a mother or the many roles that we play in our lives with also being an entrepreneur. There's a lot. And I sat on the idea of StyleSeat for 2 years before I started this company, because every time I'd have the idea of like, I really want to do this, oh my gosh, and that feature would be cool, and I'd like write it down, another thought would pop into my head that's like, that's fine, but you'll never be able to do it. You're not smart enough. No one will want to work with you, And so I'd get excited and then I'd defeat myself. And then I'd get excited and then I'd be negative. And it took one day of like pushing that aside and being like, look, I either got to do this or I need to stop dreaming, because I'm not getting anywhere with this cycle. And I think a lot of women face that. And talking about that so that everyone knows this is something we all face and it's okay. It's part of it, but find your truth and your joy and like run through it fearlessly, because it's an adventure, and it's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna be probably horrible. It's gonna be hard. But that's all part of it,
It is hard. It's very hard. I have two. My one daughter is a stylist, and the other one is a nail tech, and and I push them all towards business, right? But I mean, what you're talking about, like the ups and the downs, like the pandemic, we did very well in the pandemic. Things slowed down, when things slow down, it's not their season. they want to give up, and not just the ones just not my children. I'm even talking about other beauty entrepreneurs. It's slow. So I'm just going to close my salon or close my business, shut down my clientele. And I do a lot of therapy now. I've done a lot of therapy. I have to remind them I'm not a therapist, but I've had to do a lot of therapy in that area. So like you said, it's an adventure. You're going to have your up and downs. Get on the bandwagon or get off. Like, I have all those talks. So it's good to hear someone that is as successful as you to come on here and you're saying the same things. They think it's just their demographic, but it's everybody. It's especially for women. I took a woman entrepreneurship course, and like, the men get a lot of things, right? And we have to fight 100 times harder as women. I don't care of your color or whatever. We're women. We have to fight 100 times harder.
That's right.
So
that's right. And I mean, I'll tell you a story that sounds totally unhinged, which is I had no one that wanted to work for me. So I had no money. I wanted to start this company. I think I had like signed the documents to create a company, but it didn't mean anything. And I needed an engineer to build the first version of it. And I had no money to pay them. And so I wrote a Craigslist ad, and it was totally unhinged. It was like, I am looking for a engineer to build the first version, like code up my app. And I can't tell you the name of the app because it's a secret company. I don't have any money. You get equity.
Wow.
What a horrible idea. Like, that makes no sense. Who would answer that? Well, you know who answered it is this incredible engineer who was number like 400 at Google, and he had made a bunch of money, and he left Google and was like, I don't want like a real job, but I would totally take on some fun projects.
Wow. Just
for the fun of it. And it ended up happening. And if I had thought, that's a crazy idea, don't do it, you're silly, I would have never gotten and he was an incredible engineer. I never would have gotten the prototype for my business that allowed me to then, get to the next level.
Yeah.
So
talk about trust. Oh my goodness.
I know.
That's trust, right? I tell people all the time, like, people didn't believe me. I don't do hair. I don't do my own hair. I got on makeup today. I just learned. I'm about to be 50.
I cannot do my own makeup. I can't.
I had my daughter. She started in makeup, and then she went to nails. But I made her give me a crash course on makeup. I'm like, I'm getting too old not to have on something, right? So I tell people this crazy story, like the power of technology. Someone shared an ad on Facebook. True story. Someone shared an ad on Facebook, and it came. They tagged their friends. It came down through my timeline. It said how to make $1 million with Brazilian hair extensions. Right? I don't wear hair extensions. My hair is down my back. I don't know anything about hair extensions. My daughter was trying to turn me on to them, but I see this ad because it got shared on my feed because someone else shared it, right? And it financially made sense to me. Like, this has got to be real because I've been in a hair store. It's numerous hours and hours of hair extensions. I'm overwhelmed when I go in there. I don't even wear hair, right? So I'm like, this has got to be real. I mean, and I took this company, they were MLM, and I became like number one in this company selling hair.
Gosh.
And they went out of business. I'm like, people were knocking on my door like, we need the hair. The company was out of business. So I said, so I had to take a leap off the porch and find a hair vendor, which took me at this point like 2 years to find a hair vendor, when now it would probably take you like 2 minutes, right? But I did it, and we built this multi-million-dollar company based off of hair weave, and it's insane. So, I mean, if this isn't a story for the masses, right, to, like you said, it took you 2 years, do it or don't. Get off the porch, create your business. This is your time. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter what your race is. Just do it.
No one's going to give you permission, and no one's going to tell you to do it. Everyone is going to tell you not to do it.
Absolutely. They thought I was insane. Like, you can't even do hair. You're insane. Like, I know I can't do hair, but I can count.
Right.
Right? I can count. So I know this makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible. I love that story because it's like sometimes the world or media wants you to think that there's one type of way to run and grow a business. It's like the Harvard, Stanford, the entrepreneur who's a genius or whatever. And the reality is that's 1 in a million billion, even half of those people fail. Real businesses are real people getting creative, seeing an opportunity, being passionate, being smart about their approach, right? Minimizing risk. Like, doesn't mean being dumb about how you start the company, but like, no one's going to give you permission. No one is going to, you're always going to be the most excited person in the room. Yeah. And then when you're successful, people will be like, oh yeah, we knew that. We always believed in her. Right?
Right. That's what I get that all the time. Right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm busy today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're like, yep, totally. Remember when you told me no like 19 times?
Yeah. I want to interview this stylist in a couple of weeks. And she was probably the first person I ever approached and said, you don't have to go to China and get hair. I can show you how to do it. And she's like, yeah, I'm just going to go to China. And I said, well, this is what I'm going to do, And when I see her, she said, you said you were going to do that, and you did that. So
and you did.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So that made me feel good. But I'm going to interview her.
I love it.
Thank you so much for coming on today. Again, we're honored. Melody McCloskey, co-founder of StyleSeat. We thank you for your contribution, because beauty can be, our women, our beauty entrepreneurs, they can be so undervalued. So this was so needed.
Well, I really appreciate it. And also I have a link that I can give to you. So there's a free version of StyleSeat if you just want to use the free version. But if you want the premium, like the real moneymaker tier, I have a code that I can give that will give your listeners a discount.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yes, great. They will love that.
I love it. Well, I really appreciate it. And this was a really fun conversation. Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been great.
Well, thank you. And Yamika, you have something to say?
I'm for it. If I wasn't before, Melanie, thank you.
I
you
appreciate
definitely
it. Thank you so much.
I mean, it's needed for us.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. This has been another episode of the Motivated Melanin podcast. You can catch us here bi-weekly with episodes from your top beauty entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs, and some lifestyle stuff just for you. Join us again.
Thanks for listening to the Motivated Melanin Show with Coach Angela. If you like her show and want to know more, check her out on Instagram. Please leave her a review on Apple Podcasts.